Hello everyone and welcome to I Open TCGs, the channel where I normally open TCGs, but today we have an update video or an addendum video to the set 2 Collation is worse than you think. Now in that video, I kind of went over the basic premise, so if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. It's linked somewhere. But in this video, I did want to try it again with a different box. This is another box that I bought from a different LGS. It's not part of my supply, so it comes from a random case. No idea what's been hit or not hit. I do want to answer some questions though first before I begin. So I do want to say thank you everybody for watching the video. It's a lot of wonderful comments, both for and against, and some discussion is had in Discord and other channels. Frequent question I get is, can I share the data? I do plan on one day sharing the data, but right now I do not want to be the first. I think I potentially already caused some damage by mentioning it. You know, I do believe that someone was going to come out with it regardless. But one day I do plan on, showing my data, because I think other people are going to collect their data, and maybe mine's wrong. Maybe mine only works for a very specific grouping of boxes, and the more data that we have, the more we can see a bigger picture. So right now, I do not want to share it. What I will do for this video is I will show you, editing me might regret this, but I want to show you the groupings that I found. Not what's in them, but the size of them and how frequently they show up in the boxes that I track. So on screen right now, there should be some kind of representation of the groupings. It should have the color. So what I did was, it did not take me very long to make this spreadsheet. I mentioned it, I think, in the last video. It took me about an hour and a half of watching videos, of logging down all of the rares that were hit. And I highlighted certain groupings that I saw repeat often. And so what you're seeing on screen now is kind of the different colors represent a different grouping. Some are very big, very obvious chunks, like the Poe chunk that I found in the last video. Some of them are very small, and some of them barely even show up in the 24 boxes that I had. Which brings me to the next question, which is, there's this idea that this type of randomization is not bad if they shuffled the packs. Now, what I will say though is that there are lots of different types of or levels of randomization, right? So for example, in a game like Sorcery, which I've opened a lot of, it seems like extremely random. Like they leaned very heavily into kind of the slot machine of the randomness, right? There's games like Flesh and Blood, which has changed over the time, depending on how many hit cards they have. But right now, at least in their newest sets, generally, you don't get any repeat Majestic cards in a box, but you will see duplicates sometimes with legendaries and higher rarity things. So, and then there's games like One Piece or Japanese games where there is a very fixed thing that you can get in a box. You don't know which cards there are, but this box could have one secret rare and one alt rare, or alt art. And then another box is going to be a leader and an SP, or, like there are very specific requirements. So, there are pros and cons to all the different types. I will say though that if the packs themselves are randomized inside the box, that would of course be much better. Now I don't want to dismiss and say like, oh, they just should have randomized pack. Like that's the problem. That's the problem. And I have a lengthy discussion with the person that brings this up in the comments of the last video. But the other problem is, as you can hopefully see, the reason I'm bringing this up now is that in a case, there's often the same type of box in the same case, right? So that means if I opened a case, maybe I get 3 Crate Dragons, 3 Poes, and I'm happy. Or you can open a case and you get 0 Crate Dragons, 0 Poes, and you got 17 Rays, right? It's one of those things where like if the pattern, right, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G pattern lasted across boxes and into the case, that would almost be a little bit better, because then you would get a much better distribution of different cards, right? So the pro of this method is that you do get a much bigger distribution inside the box than you normally would if it was like more fully randomized, right? But the problem is that most people only buy a couple of booster boxes, right? The standard normal person might buy 1, 2, 3 booster boxes. And if they just happen to get the same 3 booster boxes or the same 3, or they overlap on 2 or 3 of the chunks, suddenly they just won't pull 20 to 30% of the set, right? I'm not talking about legendaries. I'm talking about rares specifically. But yeah, you can very easily just get 3 copies of like 20 rares and 0 copies of other rares. And that is also bad. All right. So that's another problem that is related, but not the point of the original video. I'm sure a lot of people are going to skip to the actual unboxing, so I appreciate you listening to me. The other thing I will say is that there are people defending FFG/Asmodee because they're not the ones that print the boxes. Cardamundi owns the printers. They print the boxes. They print boxes for a lot of games, including Flesh and Blood, Magic, many others, where this is not a problem. Now, I get defending a company you love or a game you love. I get it. But when I hire somebody to do a job, if they fuck that up, part of the responsibility is on me. It may not all be me, right? Again, we don't know the deals of the way, for all we know, there could have been a checkbox that said a lot rando, a little rando, not rando, lol, and but it costs less. And Asmodee was like, give me the less option, like we have no idea what's going on there. So the only thing that you can do is hold the company that makes the thing responsible, and that is Asmodee/FFG. All right. The last thing that I want to do before opening this is say that I only have 24 boxes of data. If I spend another hour and a half and I get 48 boxes, I think I would be things would get a lot more clear. The person that I got the hints from was in the comments of the first video, and even he was like, oh, you got many things wrong, or you got 1 or 2 things wrong. So I'm about to open this. We're going to go through the same test again. This could go totally different way. I hope it's not another chunk, because if it is, it would be kind of a waste of me buying this box. But unless I get really good cards. All right, let's try it. You know how we do. All right, we're going to open up the box. Okay, this time we have bows on top. Now, I could never really find any correlation with the limited data that I have on the tops, but I did notate them all in my spreadsheets. But we got bows here, all right? Okay, so again, just my pattern was always done from right down and then left down, but let's see what we got here in the first pack. Then I'm going to go to my trusty laptop here, and we'll see what's up, all right? So lots of cool stuff, but we kind of only really care about one thing right now, and that is the rare. Ooh, Dr. Pershing. Okay, well, we're going to start with a tie silencer. Now, that's not super useful, but let me look up tie silencer. Okay, so the tie silencer is mainly associated with one specific chunk. Now, I have information that sometimes it might change after this, but more often than not, it's going to be choose sides that comes after this as the rare. Let's see if that's true. Might change to a different chunk. That did happen 1 time out of 5 here. Okay, sorry. Choose sides. Choose sides. I meant choose sides. I said change sides. I hope you forgive me there, but we got change sides. So that is following the thing. Next, we got Van Brace. Van Brace Fire Thrower. And again, I'm looking at the chunk and I'm like, I don't like this chunk. I'm sad now because I know what's coming up, right? Now, as an unboxer, that feels bad. I like unboxing things. Van Brace. To a lot of people, it may not matter. They're like, who cares? I don't care. And that's fine. That's fine that you don't care, but I hope you understand that there are people that like the unboxing experience. Now I'm going to try something different now. So that was Van Brace, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 after this might be DJ. Okay. Now that has happened in 4 different occurrences. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different occurrences. And one time it didn't. So let's try it. So what did I say? I said after Van Brace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it should be the 7th one, I think. Let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So let me put these to the side right here. Right? Let me count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the 7th one. This should be DJ. Yep. Do you see how that's bad? Okay. I really wanted to show that to you. Now, that's DJ. So I already know that this is probably going to be Crag and Gore, Bazine Natal, Wrecker, General Riken, Survivor's Gauntlet, Tobias Beckett. Let's go through it, I guess, just to make sure. I'm pretty confident, though, because we hit what we hit, but it could be not. So we got Crag and Gore. Again, after this, Bazine Natal. Bazine Natal. Okay. After this, Wrecker. Wrecker. General Riken. And just from these 2 videos, now you already know 2 of the chunks, right? We got Riken. Now I'm opening them because maybe I'll get another legendary. You know, maybe it's going to be a better box than I think. After this is Tobias Survivor's Gauntlet. Ooh, Bazine Tall. Okay. And then Tobias Beckett. Okay. All right. Now after this was DJ, right? After this was DJ right here. And in most of the examples, it stops. Now, it might be ruthlessness, but oftentimes, at least in my information, DJ was the last pack of the box, so there was no info after that. Now, in one of them, it goes to a different thing, and in another, it goes to ruthlessness. So we'll try that. We'll see. So I already know no Crate Dragon, no Poe, probably. Okay, so it is the ruthlessness. Okay. Now, if this continues, it's going to go into Mandalorian. Now, I don't know if that's going to be true. Let's check this. Make sure it's enterprising lackeys. Could be something different. Let's see. Yep, enterprising lackey. Ooh, double lackeys. So, and then this one should be Sugi. Oh, Tobias Beckett. Okay, so that's different. Now, we just saw Tobias Beckett. Now, Tobias Beckett. Sorry, I'm looking through the thing. So, Tobias Beckett is often found right before DJ, which we just saw. But Tobias Beckett also sometimes is before ruthlessness. Tobias Beckett is weird. He comes after many different chunks. So I think we're going to need more information. Again, this is a good example of it working really well and then it being a little nebulous. So let's see what's next here after that, just to get a little bit more info here. It's ruthlessness again. Okay, weird. So now we're back. Okay. So again, normally I'd be like, okay, does that mean enterprising lackeys is coming up? But we already saw that. So there could be, you know, we might be in a whole different ball game right now. Or we might not be. Let's try. Enterprising Lackeys. Is it going to be that again? Okay. Yep. So we skipped to a chunk where now I'm a little bit happy because I might get Great Dragon. So we're going to try that again. So those lackeys. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, number 4. So we are thinking maybe this is the dragon. We would be, yep. Okay, little nebulous. We got a little bit more information. Dragon. Now, just to fill it back up, it should be Sugi, then Let the Wookiees Win, then Wild Rancor. I'm hoping for some bonus legendaries, but it does not look like it's one of those boxes. Again, tangentially to this has nothing to do with this pattern specifically, but I have a feeling. My feeling is from the boxes that I've seen, and again, very small sample size, there are a lot of boxes with just 3 legendaries, some with 2. I heard horror stories of 1. Doesn't happen often, but it can happen. But there's a lot of 3 legendary boxes and seem a lot of 5 and 6 legendary boxes. There doesn't seem to be that many in the middle ground. So part of me is like, if you don't see Let the Wookiees Win, ooh, we got another DJ. Okay, maybe now we might get another one. What I was going to say is if you don't see any bonus ones, it could be a dry box. Again, remember, none of this affects the foils, hyperspaces, things like that, as far as we can tell. Again, you're going to need much more information to be able to find that. Again, we got Let the Wookiees Win, so it's going to be Wild Rancor next. And we got Wild Rancor. Okay. So after Crate Dragon, it's not going to lead to anything else, or not going to lead to the legendary, so we're going to try this out. It should be Effin Mond. Effin Mon could change. Okay, we got Imprisoned. So a lot of times it could change after legendaries. That's what it feels like. It's like sometimes where the chunk cuts. So we got Imprisoned. Let me look up here. Okay, so we got Imprisoned. The very end of a bunch of chunks and the beginning of some chunks. Interesting. Okay. So again, this is going to be one where we hit a new chunk. I think we might need a little bit more information because Imprison is part of multiple chunks. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. So we're going to get a little more information. Maybe Palpatine's return. Okay, so we got Palpatine's return. Which is kind of funny because that might wrap back to Kylo's TIE Silencer, which we already got. Or it might be on the way to, I see on the way to Finalizer, which has happened a couple times. Again, we're not going to make it there, but that might happen. So Palpatine's return, then give in to your anger. Yep, give in to your anger. Zuckuss. And then it's going to be Zori Bliss. One more bonus legendary. That's Zori Bliss. And last pack here is probably going to be First Light, but it might not be. Let's see. Can we get another legendary? Nope. And we got First Light. So, barring a handful of like maybe 3 packs we were uncertain of, I mean, I was able to snipe 2 of the like, hopefully you can see the evidence as it is. All right. Again, I'm not going to make another one just because I think I've proven it. Again, didn't take me very long to make this. I probably will do another update video maybe in a couple of days. If there's more discussion about this, if people even care, if other content creators jump on the bandwagon. So in the comments, if you made it this far, if you have any questions, concerns, maybe I'll answer the next one again. I'm not going to publish the list right now. Um, because yeah, I am not fully altruistic. Obviously, I want to make a video. I want people to watch it. I want views. I fully understand that. But I don't want to go full, you know, here's the way to defraud people, right? So again, if you own a store or know a store, tell them to shuffle packs if they are ever going to do sell packs, single packs. If you're buying stuff, make sure, again, try to always buy sealed no matter what for any reason, because you can weigh things like that. But especially so now. And one thing I didn't really talk about is draft. Like, this is fucked for draft, I would assume. Again, I would assume one of the major reasons this does not happen is if you ever want to draft anything. But for draft, I guess you can always shuffle the packs yourself and then do it. But yeah, so that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.